Thank you, Chair. Good morning to you all. My line of questioning, I'll start with Mr. Levy, and we'll jump straight in given we're running out of time. The first finding in your submission was that the ban creates a false sense of security for parents. eSafety's research was released last week, and that found that a proportion of parents who were unaware that their child had recently used social media increased from 23%, which was before the ban, to 33% 3 months in. And young people are also less likely to discuss social media use with their parents because there's the perception that they're breaking the law. To what extent do these facts, if you were to take it together, show that the ban has in some way increased the risk of social media harm by pushing it into the shadows?
Yeah, it's a really good observation, and that was always my biggest concern with this this regime, is that parents would go, thankfully the government's solved it for me, I can kind of relax. And the truth is that's not it was not possible, and it's been clearly not shown to be possible. And yeah, that idea now that we're leaving, I hate to say the term, but leaving our kids to their own devices, believing now that they're safe or inherently safe is really tragic. And yeah, so I've got no doubt that there's kids are in more harm's way because of this social media ban or delay than out of harm's way. And we're certainly seeing evidence of that with matters like what you spoke to, but also kids moving or being displaced into more dangerous places.
And your fifth recommendation, amongst other things, mentioned that public reporting should distinguish accounts from unique users and include false accept and false reject rates, repeat attempts and circumvention. I'm curious to understand, do you view the government's secrecy around the 4.7 million accounts figure and its refusal of the Senate's request to provide further detail as unsatisfactory?
Look, I'm not across the background of that, to be honest, but look at some level I do have sympathy for the symbolic nature of this whole program and those sorts of stats, like trying to create some momentum and some awareness and get people behind the initiative. So I always predicted that. We were talking I was part of that social media age verification, so the age verification committee, and I remember speaking at a committee meeting about that. We're expecting, the easy to close down accounts would be signalled as a sign of success. Yeah, it needs to move away from measures about account level stuff and into, are we truly creating better and safer outcomes for kids?
Okay. Well, thank you for that. Mr. Atwells, just so it was noted that some of the out-of-pocket costs for the now infamous UN General Assembly social media ban event that so damaged Fatima Wells last year, that 36 months covered the out-of-pocket costs for that event, or at least 36 months founders. One of the co-founders, Rob Galuzzo, is also the CEO of advertising company Finch, which has had clients like Tab Australia, Ladbrokes, Sportsbet and CrownBet. Mr. Atwells, you were reported to have said Finch has supported 36 months financially, more than any other brand to date. They have been our main supporter and source of funding. How do you justify bankrolling a campaign to tackle one harmful product, social media, using revenue from another harmful product, gambling advertising?
Yeah, let me just clarify a few things there that aren't sort of factually correct. So it probably cost us around $500,000 to run our sort of 2-year campaign to ultimately kind of change this law. We were able to, raise funds to do that from the corporate sector via some brand partners, which we're very open about on our website. There's a full transparency statement there. But there was roughly around sort of $200,000 to $250,000 in costs, like we're a shortfall that came out of Robin Whipper's own pockets, basically. So that money didn't come from Finch; it came from Rob's kind of own personal money, and so Rob is Finch. He's sole director of that company. Do you know what I mean? So there's that's the connection there. But 36 Months is a very separate entity to Finch. Michael Whitfley and Robert Galuzzo are the two co-founders, and they were the ones kind of responsible for covering that sort of financial shortfall for us to do the work that we were trying to do. Finch is not an advertising agency, it's a film production company, so the clients that you mentioned are not Finch's clients, they're advertising agencies' clients, and those advertising agency use film production companies like Finch to actually make the commercials. So there's a few degrees of sort of separation there between the mission of 36 Months and revenue flowing into a production company, if that makes sense. So yeah, there's no way in which money that came from a gambling company was actually funding the work of our mission. It's just simply not true. The personal money of Rob Galuzzo and Michael Whitfley covered the shortfall, and then on our website you can see the other brands that contributed to the cause.
So if we were to look at the lead up to the event where 36 Months gave a presentation to major Australian companies, which asked for $150,000 to sponsor the event, with the payoff being exposure to high-profile celebrities and heads of state, does 36 Months believe cash for access is healthy for our democracy?
I wouldn't call it cash for access. Just so you know, we completely funded that entire trip ourselves. So the only money that came in was about $10,000 from Omnicom, which helped us put on an event at Old Mate's Pub, but again, not covering the full costs of that event. So all other flights, accommodation, all the bits was like we wore the cost of that, as a sort of independent entity. Yes, we were trying to raise money from our brand partners to help us get over there for that moment, because we felt like it was a significant moment to celebrate the work that Australia had done on the world stage. But ultimately, we were completely kind of self-funded in the way that we went over there. And yeah, that's just the truth of the matter. So
just on what the 36 Months PR and government relations lead Simone Gupta was reported saying that
Chair,
36 Months wasn't a pro bono project.
Can I have a point of order here, please, on relevance?
This is very relevant.
Chair,
sorry, hold on. Let's deal with this in an orderly way. What's your point of order, Senator Nundraja?
Well, on relevance, I mean, how is this relevant to debating the substance of the bill, which is around enforcement powers for E-Safety Commissioner? This has already been prosecuted. You could perhaps put this on notice, and the witness could provide a written answer.
I don't think this has been covered, Senator Nundraja.
Thank you, Senators. Look, as I indicated earlier, it is my intention to be reasonably permissive on relevance today, given the range of issues that are being raised. I will always invite senators to consider the relevance of their questions and to keep them as pointed as possible. But at this stage, I'm not going to rule that question out of order. But I will say, Senator Payman, if we could wrap up at the conclusion of that one or your next one, because we need to go to our break and then bring the next panel on. Thank you.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Thank you. So just on what Simone Gupta was reported and saying that 36 Months wasn't a pro bono project. We went quadrupled, but everyone got paid. Mr. Atwells, is 36 Months a pro bono project?
Simone Gupta is an external contractor, so she's not a member of our team. So she was referring to the fact that her company, Supermassive, got paid for their services. So we paid Supermassive and Simone Gupta as PR kind of consultants. So they didn't.
But they were representing
work for us pro bono.
36 Months.
Wasn't representing, like they were a contractor, or we were paying for their services as PR
Okay,
specialists.
just finally, sorry, I'm running.
So they got paid, definitely.
I wanted to ask what one of your co-founders said about corporate influence on experts. Last year, Mr. Whitfley told the ABC, and I quote, "What's fascinating too is the amount of experts you can actually buy if you're a corporation. Very quickly you notice they're on the board of Snapchat," end quote. Which specific experts was he referring to there?
I'm not sure. I wasn't aware of the comments that Michael made about that. I think Mr. Alachi pointed out earlier
that on
some
notice,
frustrations. Yeah, okay.
Just because, yeah, I understand that 36 months was very influential in campaigning for this ban, so it's very relevant for us to get that information. I'll put my other questions on notice. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Senator Anand-Raja. On that note, you go with the committee's
Senator Payman.
Sorry, my confusion. Senator Payman.